This is what we'll be creating today, a sprite that can move across the screen and fire a gun with bullets coming out of it. Obviously, I've left the speed very slow so we can see what happens. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, we'll start off by making the player, so we'll do a new scene, add a kinematic body 2D, name it player, add a collision shape, give it a shape on the right hand side, and we'll also add on the player, add animated sprite. We'll also add a position 2D, which we'll be using later on. Right, in the animated sprite, we're going to give it some new sprite frames. The sprites, I believe, are linked in the description for those, apart from the bullet, which you can get from anywhere. And we're starting off with idle, so let's do idle. Drag them in. Add another animation. The next one is run. Oops, what happened there? Come back. Sprite frames. And finally, shoot. And we'll take the scale down to a quarter of the size. We'll give the player a script, take away the comments, back in the animated sprite, let's get rid of the loop function. We don't want anything to loop in these, apart from the idle one, that can loop. Okay, we'll save the scene, player, and the next thing we'll do is the bullet. So we'll do a new scene, add an area 2D, add another collision shape, add a normal sprite, and also we'll want a visibility notifier 2D as well. Just add a shape. Any old shape will do because we're not going to really be using it. The sprite is going to be the bullet. As you can see, it's just a laser thing, whatever, you can get these anywhere. And we're going to name that bullet. Put a script on the area 2D Just call it. That's fine. Actually, no, let's give this a name. Let's call it gun. And let's save that scene as gun. I'll just paste the first part of this. So what we're doing, we're making a variable speed. Do it very slow so we can see what's happening. A direction, which is going to be positive 1. We've created a function set bullet direction. We're giving it an argument, direction, and we're saying direction is equal to that argument. In the physics process, we're just getting the position plus equals the transform of the bullet times the speed times time times the direction we're going to go in. Then the visibility notifier is going to be on viewport exited, going to the gun, and simply going to Q3. In other words, the bullet's going to disappear when it leaves the screen, so we're not cluttering up memory with lots of bullets flying around for eternity. So let's save that scene, and the next thing is to go to the player and start setting that up. Again, I'll just paste the relevant bits in rather than you have to suffer my typing speed. First of all, we're not doing that. It's not a bullet, it's going to be a gun. Better. So what we're doing, we're setting a variable direction, which is going to be vector2, but we're setting the x to 1 and the y to 0. Velocity is just straight vector2. It's just going to be a simple move across the screen. Speed 200 for the player, and the constant, which is the bullet, we're preloading that there. Res gun TSN scene. The next part is to set up the physics process. Down a few, standing myself, you hold control and go to there. This time what it does, it flips the position 2D from the right side to the left side of the sprite. I don't know where I got this from, but all I know is it works. So we're flipping the position of the 2D X position. If it's equal to -1, then the position X is going to be times equal -1. It has to be times equal for it to multiply it over to the other side, I think. Anyway, it works. If the input is action pressed UI left, we're still playing the animation run, but this time the animation is true, because we are flipping the sprite to go the other way. Again, we use the if sign, position 2D blah 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 is equal to 1, then the position of the X position, the position 2D, is now going to be -1. It's going to be facing to the left. That is, it's over on the left hand side of the sprite. And if we're not doing anything, we're just going to play the idle. animation. Obviously velocity is going to be 0 when we're doing that. So now we need to create another scene, and this time just a straightforward node 2D, call it world. Oh, call it world. And in the world scene we'll instance the player. And drag him here, into the middle of the screen. We've got no gravity on this sprite, so it'll just float gently down to the floor, I think. Maybe not. So we've got run, and now we've got to program a shoot for it. So we come over to the project settings, input map, and we're going to do shoot. And now you can pick any key you like to do this. We'll anything. I'm going to pick Z for this. Close. Okay. The next thing we need to do is put the move all that over to the right. That to the right. No, that's wrong. Get the indentation right. So now we're going, if the input is actually just pressed, so we just want it to go once, we're going to shoot, which is what we named that there. The variable bullet, which we have just made there, is equal to the bullet instance there, bullet, the instance of the gun, and if the animated sprite is flipped and it's equal to true, then the bullet set bullet direction is going to be -1. So if we So now we want to position that position 2D. So if you hold down Alt, you can just select the position 2D and move it to the end of the gun. Now the other thing we need to do is, in the player script, is put the action for the animated sprite to shoot. Now I found the best way to do this is to just use the process function. Putting it in this, it happens so quickly that you can't even see the animation. So just a second. Okay, so at the top here, if we just put that, so now just the process function, the input is action pressed, we're going to do the shoot animation, play shoot. that is still the shoot is the Z that we programmed in the project settings. So now if we play it, as you can see, the bullet comes up that way, turn around, and the bullet comes up that way. So let's just run through what we've done again. We've created a bullet script. As I say, we're just at a slow speed so we can see what we were doing. Given it a direction of 1, created a function, set the direction, called it dir. We've made direction equal to that. Physics process, position plus equals transform, x, position times speed times delta times direction, and when the bullet leaves the screen it disappears. On the player, we're doing the direction, velocity for the player, speed of the player, and we're preloading that gun scene. In the process function, we're shoot using the shoot command and playing the shoot animation. In the physics process, we're doing all the various things to make the player flip, run, and we're putting that position 2D positive and minus either side of the sprite. And if we're not doing any of that, we're just playing the idle animation with velocity at 0. And then if action just pressed, because if you just pressed it would just keep firing all the time. The variable bullet equals the bullet instance, instancing the scene. This time we are flipping the sprite, and when we're flipping the sprite, the direction is going to be -1. We're then adding the bullet to the scene, and we're getting the global position of the bullet equal to the position of the 2D, you could call that, if you want to give it a name, gun muzzle or whatever you like. And then that's just to move the player across the screen. As I say, that is it for firing a gun. Run, run, idle, bang, bang, bang. Whereas the next thing we could do is when it hits something. But that's it for now. Thank you very much.